I got fired. Okay, now I need to get this off my chest. So here's the story. So this totally starts off like the same way that I meet so many clients. You're relocating from out of state. I had a listing available for a lease. They pinged me on Zillow, wanted to take a look. Fast forward, the timing of things didn't work, but we kept in touch. And it turned out that they actually leased a home 5 minutes away from where I live in Dripping Springs. We had connected on Dripping Springs. They had heard about the hill country. Everything was jiving. Things were great. Fast forward, let's say about 4 to 5 months, I get a text message and it says, "Hey Crystal, we are ready to buy a house. We've been to a few open houses, but we told everyone that we wanted to work with you and we're ready to meet." So we meet. We go through the full buyer representation agreement. We talk about what it's like to buy a house in Texas because, again, they were moving from out of state and the contracts here are completely different. I know this firsthand because I made the move from out of state and these were all shockers for me. So we go through, we talk about everything. We have dinner, we have drinks, we hug at the end of it, and off we go. Step one, I get them pre-qualified. Connect them with a couple of my favorite lenders because everyone's circumstances are a little bit different, but we found the perfect match and we got it signed and sealed, ready to go shopping. So the house hunt begins and we start our day touring 6 properties, 3 different sides of town. Now, most agents have protocols that they don't like to show more than 3, but my vibe is, you know what? I gotta spam you because I need to get a feel for what makes you light up. We go out, we look at new construction, we look at resale, we regroup. We decide the next time we go out, we are going to solely focus on Dripping Springs specific communities. Perfect. We know this is where they want to land. So, round 2, 9 properties. I get it. It's a lot, but they're focused. They're on a time crunch. The market's slightly starting to feel like it's moving into spring season and get more competitive, and we don't want to miss out. Now, let me back up for a second. Because in the midst of us going back and forth, deciding what properties we wanted to tour and setting up our timeline, I get a text message that says, "Well, nothing came of it, but we just wanted to let you know that we reached out to our landlord because you know how much we love this house. It's perfect. It has a pool. It's single story, 4 beds, media room, yada, yada, yada. And we wanted to see if they would sell, but they said no. So just wanted to put that on your radar. We tried, but let's keep looking." Okay, great. My response, obviously, as a realtor is, "Hey, why don't you shoot me your landlord's contact because sometimes a different approach could get the result that you're looking for." But they were like, "No, forget it. We've moved on." So we move on. We decide that we are going to schedule our tour in Dripping Springs, and I get little bits of information as we're leading up to tour day. And it's like, "Oh my gosh, Crystal, guess what? Our landlord reached out and said that they actually started looking for homes when we said that we were interested in buying their home and that they found something that they love and they want to sell us the house." I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. How much do they want for their home? Guess what? No surprise, it was way outside of value. So I come back again and I'm like, "Hey, guys, we're not getting there with these comps. Why don't you connect me and let me see where I can get with this conversation? I'm getting the sense that this is the home." No, we decided they're unrealistic in their expectations. That's never going to happen. You know, we're not even qualified for that much. And we're really conscious about having enough money in the bank to be able to still live the life that we like. So pass. Cool. Pass. Let's keep it going. Now we're moving on to tour day number 2. We have tours scheduled with 2 new construction builders, 2 different communities for new construction, and an additional tour profile set up for 1, 2, 3. So a total of 4 communities that we're visiting. 4 communities, 9 properties. We are banging this out, rocking and rolling. We've got our rhythm. I can read them. They've got the vibe. We're moving right along. We are at property number 9. We tour it. Honestly, it was a great fit. Checked all the boxes. We're sitting there. They're kind of having that like sidebar talking numbers conversation. This feels right. I think it feels right too. I didn't think we were going to find something. And then they turn and look at me and they were like, Crystal, we have some news. And I'm like, oh my God, they're pregnant. Somebody got a new job. Maybe somebody lost a job. We got to change the budget. I'm ready for it. Give it to me. No. Here's what she says. Our landlord came back and they're very motivated. They want to put an offer on a house and they don't want to be contingent. They are willing to sell us the house for $700,000, which is the very, very top of my client's budget, mind you. And I'm pretty confident they came back at that number because my client probably told them what the top of their budget was. Mistake number 1. Actually, number 2, you should have connected with me first. But they say, we want to make this work. You know, the house is perfect. ABC checks the boxes. There's an issue. The seller does not want to work with a real estate agent or pay any type of compensation. And I said, okay, again, I'm not here to get in the way of you and this perfect home. Let me talk to them. And they said, well, we're wondering if we could just pay you 1% flat fee and you handle this for us. And I'm honored that they offered compensation. A lot of people would probably just like go figure it out on their own and whatever, keep it moving. B, I don't think a lot of people understand what it takes to represent both sides of the table. And so I broke it down. But before I even go down that road, here was my response. Let's pause. Again, I am not here to stand between you and your home. I'm here to make this happen. So why don't I come over tomorrow? Let me run numbers. Because honestly, 700 still seems high. But let's take a look. So we do the thing. I go over there, I walk the property, see the improvements, I run all of my data. And we're standing in their rental home that they're hoping to call their forever home. And she says to me again, so will you do it for 1%? And here's where it happens. I said, look, I am so thankful that you value me and my expertise enough to offer me compensation to represent you in this transaction. But I have some questions here. And where I would like to start is I would like to speak with your seller and have a conversation and let me negotiate the price. Let me negotiate the compensation. Let me have the seller compensate me. Let me take care of you. And she says, how's that gonna happen? And I'm like, okay, tell me more. Tell me why. Well, the seller is just not gonna do it. And I said, great. So there's about 180 tasks that go into a real estate transaction. And let's talk about all of the legal complications, the ethical violations that could happen, all of the time of the essence clauses that are within a contract. Who's going to manage this process? Because now we are talking about two sides of the table that are not licensed in the state of Texas to handle promulgated forms. And she says, oh, no, it's no big deal, Crystal. The seller is actually getting their license right now as we speak. And so they're gonna go ahead and do all the paperwork in the transaction. Red flags. And no joke, but I kind of wear that crown with honor. I can spot a red flag a mile away because at the end of the day, LA girl, and if you've ever dated in LA, you can spot one. So my brain is pinging and I'm like, oh my gosh, run, 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 red flag, red flag, red flag. So immediately I ask the question because now I just need to clarify for myself. So you're telling me that your landlord AKA now going to be the seller in this transaction, is currently completing their education to get licensed, but does not currently have a license, does not have their license hung with a broker that is overseeing their transactions or their legal responsibilities or the insurance side of things, but they're going to manage both sides of the table because they have explained to you that this is financially in everyone's best interest. Crickets. Okay, cool. So here's where I left it. I said, look, from an ethical standpoint, I have to caution that you are walking into an unbelievable amount of liabilities here. And mind you, if you have not watched my video on concrete cancer, stay tuned for that one because this home had a pool that was built in 2020. So, cue video. But let's move on. The next morning, I wake up and there's an email in my inbox with what definitely was copywritten by ChatGPT, no big deal. And it included a Texas Realtor's amendment to terminate our buyer representation agreement and requesting a release of financial liability for all work and due diligences performed to date. Sigh. Because guess what? When I opened the attachment, they included the wrong form. So what do? I sent back a lovely response and I said, I appreciate your time in me reviewing your request. I want to bring to your attention that it is highlighted here that this form is for use by agents licensed with the state of Texas. I do not believe that either party has been licensed in the state of Texas, and I do want to bring to your attention that this is the wrong form for your request. However, in good faith, I release you of liability. I am attaching the appropriate form that you need to release yourself from liability with my brokerage, and I wish you the best of luck. But I cannot sign off this email with once again cautioning you that you are entering into a legally binding contract with a person that has no knowledge of the real estate market. You have no one standing beside you protecting your best interests or providing any type of legal guidance. You are purchasing a home with a swimming pool that were both built in COVID in Dripping Springs, and I don't even want to begin to scare you with all of the horror stories around the fact that new construction during Dripping Springs was passing inspections sight unseen because it was COVID. So, good luck. And if circumstances change and you find yourself in a situation where legal representation is in your best interest, my door is open. So if you missed it, this was my Dear John email. I was fired. The termination notice was delivered, though it was wrong, and I still had to continue to work to provide the correct one, secure signatures, and provide all copies of the executed amendment to all parties. And I moved on. But at the end of the day, I stand firm in my position. I will not allow any person that is working with me to be deceived, misled, misguided, misrepresented. It is unbelievable that I found myself in this position, but I would do it again. And so, did they close? I have no clue. Does the house have concrete cancer? Maybe. Did they get inspections? Who knows? Did it appraise? Probably not. But what can I do? I tried my best, and all I can do is hope that people learn from this mistake, because this is a huge mistake. Big.
Big. Huge.
So if you're new to this channel, I'm Crystal Robena. I am a local Austin realtor. I relocated here from Los Angeles. I bought a home within 72 hours and it was not the right fit. I've made the mistakes, I've learned, I've taught, I've been fired, and honestly, I'd love to hear if you have stories to share as well, because ouch, this one hurt. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to sugarcoat things. So if you're looking for someone that's gonna give you the real truth and real talk, like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Crystal Cells ATX for more everyday life in Austin.